What if Thailand's hottest female stars have more to hide than talent? But this isn't about labels. This is about the beauty of love in all its forms. Could these stories be more than just fan theories? And if so, does it matter? Watch until the end and ask yourself, is love really a secret, or are we just refusing to acknowledge it? Let us know what you think in the comments. Your voice helps us build a space that is open, kind, and proud of diversity. Orm Kornnaphat has never been one to overshare. In an industry where every smile is and every caption becomes a headline, she remains a puzzle. Beautiful, calm, and enigmatic. Her life, as seen through social media and press interviews, is a masterclass in balance. Public enough to remain relevant, private enough to make fans go wild with curiosity. While many stars chase the spotlight, Orm walks the red carpet like a queen guarding a secret. And many believe that secret might just be love. A kind of love that doesn't come with press releases or labels, but with meaningful glances, shared silences, and a quiet refusal to explain. It wasn't a photo, an interview, or a viral moment that sparked the rumors. It was a pattern. A gentle trail of led fans to a name, Ling Ling Kwong. Another actress, also private, also mysterious. Fans noticed that their birthdays often matched, not just in date but in presence. Trips to Tokyo and Chiang Mai together, posts taken at the same time from the same balcony, the same cafe, the same sunset. Orm himself calling Ling Ling home in a now-deleted caption. Ling Ling himself tagging Orm in a story with a heart and a midnight selfie, almost too tender to be platonic. Then came a fan event where Orm was asked about her ideal type. She paused, smiled awkwardly, and said, "Gender doesn't define love. It's how someone makes me feel." That line has lived in the minds of fans ever since, quoted, edited, and replayed in every lingo moment video on TikTok. There's been no official statement, but somehow that makes it all the more powerful. Because maybe love, when it's real, doesn't need to be explained. In Thailand's burgeoning but still cautious LGBTQ+ scene, Orm's silence has become a symbol. Not of secrecy, of sovereignty. She never said, "This is who I love," but she also never said, "It's not like that." And the space in between? That's where millions of fans find meaning. Not everyone wants to make their personal lives a statement, and maybe that's the point. Orm's story isn't a coming out story wrapped in a rainbow flag. It's about the quiet rebellion of not fitting into a certain mold just to be understood. Whether Orm and Ling Ling are partners, soulmates, or just kindred spirits, what matters is what their intimacy represents. Tenderness, authenticity, and the possibility of love that transcends gender. In a world still obsessed with definition, Orm offers us something else: freedom. Why do we expect people to declare who they love before we accept them for who they are? Share your thoughts below. Does this story make you feel understood? Curious? Inspired? Your voice helps us build a space where all kinds of love are not only respected, but celebrated. Urassaya Sperbund, or simply Yaya to her millions of fans, has always been an elegant and charming figure in Thai showbiz. Born to a Norwegian father and a Thai mother, her mixed-race beauty helped her rise to fame quickly. But it was her kind spirit and talent that made her unforgettable. Whether she was playing a radiant leading lady or strutting her stuff in designer gowns on the red carpet, Yaya always felt like someone the whole country was rooting for. But as her popularity grew, so did the whispers. Gentle whispers at first. Rumor has it that maybe her on-screen chemistry with her male co-stars wasn't the only spark fans were noticing. Instead, people began to wonder if the real magic was with someone in real life, and not necessarily a man. So where did the whispers start? Some fans point to her incredibly close friendships with a number of female celebrities, public texts, matching outfits, and vacations that seem a little too dreamy to be platonic. One particularly viral moment? A surprise rainbow cake Yaya brought to a private party, innocuous on the surface, but it has fans theorizing. Another is her appearances at events supporting LGBTQ+ artists, followed by cryptic Instagram captions like, "Always be yourself." So, are those definitive confirmations? Of course not. But in a world where celebrities often run from even the slightest bit of gossip, Yaya's calm, unconcerned stance seems bold. She never denies, she never clarifies, she just smiles and moves on as if to say, interpret what you want. And that silence, sometimes it speaks louder than words. Ultimately, it doesn't matter whether the rumors are true or just fan fiction. What matters is the space Yaya has created, where femininity isn't pigeonholed and where a woman's worth isn't defined by who she dates. In a society where same-sex attraction still faces judgment, her quiet defiance, choosing to let people speak and not explain herself, has opened up space for imagination, hope, and acceptance. And perhaps that's what makes her so alluring. She lets fans see what they want to see, believe what they choose to believe, and dream of a world where love in all its forms doesn't require a press conference. So what do you think? Are these just playful coincidences? Or is there something quietly revolutionary about the way Yaya stays true to herself without ever saying a word? Share your thoughts below, because love is more fun when we talk about it together. In a world where fame is often measured by how loud you make a scene, Sarunchana Apisamaimongkol has become a star by doing the exact opposite. She's quiet, calm, and never in a hurry to explain herself. And yet, she's become one of the most talked about young women in Thai showbiz. Not because of controversy, not because of chaos, but because of a series of unspoken moments that have created endless whispers. While other actresses flood social media with revelations about boyfriends or lavish outings, Ai has taken a quieter path, one filled with gentle smiles, gentle touches, and a very consistent female companion. The public doesn't hear the confession, but they feel something, and that feeling grows. Over the years, fans began to piece together a quiet love story, one written not in headlines, but in body language. Ai and actress Jeenprasom were often seen together, but not just because of their closeness. It was the tenderness in their eyes when they looked at each other, the way they seemed to retreat into their own little worlds even in crowded rooms, the matching rings, the arranged vacations, birthday posts that read more like love letters than regular captions. There was even a fan-recorded clip, just a few seconds, of Ai brushing Jan's hair out of her face in a tender, visceral moment that made viewers pause mid-sentence. Some skipped, others paused and replayed. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't need to be stated, it just needs to be felt. We often crave clarity. We want people to say out loud who they are and who they love. But perhaps that need says more about us than it does about them. Perhaps Sarunchana doesn't owe anyone a label. Perhaps what she's offering is something more genuine, love in its most natural, unlabeled form. And perhaps that's the point. That two women can choose to hold space for each other, protect their relationship, and be real, without permission or applause. We don't know the whole story, and we may never know. But perhaps the bigger question is, why do we still feel the need to interpret every intimate female relationship through the lens of suspicion? So here's what we want to know. Do you think we've become too obsessed with defining love, rather than just recognizing it when it's there? Leave your thoughts below, and let's keep this space kind, curious, and welcoming to all forms of connection. Baifern Pimchanok. To some, she's Thailand's eternal sweetheart, with her dazzling smile and impeccable elegance. But if you look closer, she's more than just a pretty face on screen. There's something intriguing and unpredictable about her. She doesn't play by the rules of fame, she bends them, quietly. While most rising stars get caught up in gossip headlines about dating the hottest male celebrities, Baifern somehow manages to avoid it all with the grace of someone who knows exactly what she's doing. And let's be honest, when someone doesn't try to explain themselves, we're even more curious. That's when the whispers come in. Her undeniable chemistry with Tontawan Tantivejakul doesn't just happen on screen. It spilled over into fan cams, interviews, and even fan art that trended for days. People weren't just watching faces of Anne, they were watching them. Like when Baifern accidentally put her hand on Tontawan's thigh during a live stream, or when they exchanged looks that weren't just friendly, they were electric. Was it rehearsed? Was it real? Baifern didn't seem to mind. She laughed it off, flipped her hair, and let people do the talking. In one interview, when asked about her type, she raised an eyebrow and replied, "Someone who understands me." The internet, boom, fans called her the Queen of Ambiguity. And honestly, she lived up to that title. What makes Baifern stand out isn't just the rumors. It's how she handles them. With humor, with calm, with her signature "I know what you're thinking" smirk, it makes us want to ask more questions. Maybe she's not hiding anything. Maybe she's just living life in a way that doesn't need explaining. In a society that still struggles with labels, Baifern stands out from them. Not out of spite, but out of freedom. Her choices, her silences, her playful turns have made her something more than a star. She's a symbol of how femininity, mystery, and self-love can defy outdated expectations. So what do you think? Are we putting too much emphasis on glimpses and inside jokes, or is Baifern quietly rewriting the rules of love in Thai entertainment? Comment below, and if this makes you feel seen, curious, or inspired, share. Because love in all its forms deserves to be talked about. She's the queen of Thai cinema, the face of hundreds of brands, and a goddess in every frame. But somehow, the biggest question fans still whisper about isn't about her acting. It's about her heart. For years, Davika Hoorne has been gracing red carpets and magazine covers, but when it comes to her love life, she's been, well, a little mysterious. Sure, there's Mario Maurer in dramas, but in real life, her male co-stars rarely stick around. What does stick around, however, is her incredibly close relationships with some gorgeous female celebrities, most notably model actress Jandara's Ploy. Their matching outfits, late-night TikToks, and hand-holding moments have given fans plenty to talk about. But is it friendship? Or is it something more? Back in 2020, Davika was spotted vacationing in Japan with a small group of friends, including Ploy. But netizens noticed they were always together. A TikTok edit even went viral, showing the two making heart symbols and giving each other looks that fans swear could melt a camera lens. In 2023, when Davika posted a cryptic message about loving someone without explanation, social media went crazy. Of course, she never named them, but the comments were flooded with rainbow emojis. And then there was her interview on Club Friday, where she openly advocated for LGBTQ+ rights, declaring that love should never be boxed. An innocent statement? Sure. But to the rumor mill, it sounded like a carefully coded message. Davika has never labeled herself, and she probably never will. But one thing is clear. She has made room for love in all its forms, on-screen, off-screen, and in the hearts of fans who yearn to be free to be themselves. Whether the rumors are true or not, Davika has become a symbol of elegant rebellion, of someone who chooses authenticity over approval. And honestly, wouldn't it be iconic if she quietly lived a love story that the world couldn't define? We're not here to label, we're here to ask. Why, in 2025, are same-sex relationships still considered a scandal instead of a celebration? Share your thoughts below. And if this video resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the love. Because no matter who you are or who you love, you belong here. Supassara Thanachat, Cow to most of us, is more than just a pretty face in Thai entertainment. She's a stylish, timeless fashion icon who made millions of fans fall in love with her on Hormones, the series, and has never looked back. With her calm confidence and effortless demeanor, she became a Generation Z darling overnight. But with fame comes gossip. And for years, those gossips weren't about her fashion or her acting. They were about her heart. More specifically, who actually holds it. Because behind every Instagram post, there's a quiet question. Is Kao the quiet, pretty, not-so-outspoken person? Let's be clear, we're not talking wild speculation. The rumors surrounding Kao didn't start with a tabloid. They started with her fans. Eagle-eyed, observant fans have noticed that there's a female friend who keeps popping up in her life, not just at parties and red carpets, but also at cozy coffee shops, beach trips, and belated birthday dinners. And it's not just the closeness, it's the tone. Posts with lines like, "There's a connection that goes deeper than words," have fueled speculation that this isn't just a friendship, it's something more. The friend, just as cool, just as personal. And the chemistry? Let's just say it says more than any press release. The thing is, we're not here to expose anyone. That's not what it's about. What we're here to ask is a bigger question. Why do people still act like love between women is a mystery to be solved? Why do we pore over every gesture, every caption, trying to figure it out? Maybe it's because queer love, especially in Asian entertainment, is still seen as a kinky thing instead of something natural. But think about it. What if we stopped asking, is Cow gay? And started asking, why are we still shocked that she is gay? Whatever the truth is, she has the right to say it or not say it. And in the meantime, maybe we can all learn to appreciate the beauty of connection without having to box it in. So tell us, how does this story make you feel? Curious, surprised, inspired? Whatever you think, leave a comment. Let's create a space that is open, kind, and maybe even a little chaotic in the best possible way. Because love, in all its forms, is worth talking about, and your voice matters here. Tontawan burst onto the scene like a summer storm, unpredictable and impossible to ignore. When she landed the role of Gorya in Thailand's F4, audiences not only fell in love with her acting, but were also obsessed with her charm, wit, and that distinctive, direct look that seemed to say, "Don't underestimate me." Offstage, to quickly build a reputation as one of the freshest faces in Thai showbiz. But as her fame grew, so did the buzz. Fans began to notice the way she interacted with some of her female co-stars, the way she seemed effortlessly approachable in behind-the-scenes clips, the way her language about sex and love sometimes crossed traditional lines. Honestly, if you've ever spent more than 5 minutes on TikTok Thailand, you've probably come across a remix between Tu and her female co-stars, set to a soundtrack of dreamy love songs and subtle smirks. Some have even called her close relationship with Pimchanok suspiciously sweet, especially during fan meetings where even eye contact can melt steel. While Tu has never publicly stated her gender identity, fans have praised her fluid, non-conformist energy. In fact, in a 2023 interview with Harper's Bazaar Thailand, she casually said that she doesn't care about labels and that love is just love. That simple, off-the-cuff statement lit up fan forums like wildfire. No labels, no boxes, just vibes. And maybe that's exactly what makes her so appealing. Maybe it's because Tu represents something bigger than a headline. She's part of a new wave of young Thai stars who embrace tenderness without apology, intimacy without fear, and relationships without definition. Whether she's attending pride events, supporting gender diversity campaigns, or simply being herself, Tu is quietly, and perhaps unintentionally, helping to normalize queer-coded intimacy in Thai media. We don't claim to know her heart, but we do applaud her courage to exist freely in the spotlight. And if you've ever seen her look at someone the way we wish someone would look at us, then maybe you understand the appeal. So what do you think? Is it just friendship, or is something deeper blossoming in the margins? Let us know what you think after you watch, because this space isn't just about gossip. It's about connection, curiosity, and celebrating love in all its forms. Yaya Narilya walked into the room and didn't say a word. There was something about her presence, at once graceful and unassuming, that lingered. She was the kind of actress who didn't just play a role, she became a moment. Yet behind that calm exterior and those carefully crafted interviews, fans have long sensed that there was more. Something unspoken, something beautifully complex. Years ago, in an off-the-cuff interview, when asked about her type, Yaya responded with a quiet but clear conviction. "I don't love gender, I love soul." It wasn't framed as a big coming-out moment. There was no fluff, no PR blitz, just an honest statement that echoed across Thai fan pages and beyond. Social media may not have spoken, but it whispered loudly. And Yaya's online presence became a favorite subject of internet sleuths. The photos of her casually leaning into another woman at a coffee shop, a heartfelt birthday post that read more like a poem than a caption. the way she lit up certain vlogs when a female friend appeared on camera. Fans recognized it, not because they were looking for scandal, but because the intimacy seemed so real, not staged, not PR. Just soft, quiet moments that hinted at something deeper. In 2023, a photo of her leaning her head on a woman's shoulder, eyes closed, not saying a word, went viral overnight. Again, she didn't explain. And she didn't need to. That's the power of authenticity. It doesn't need permission to exist. The truth is, maybe Yaya is in love. Maybe she's not. Maybe the whispers are just that, whispers. But what makes her story worth telling isn't a headline. It's how she chooses to live, with quiet courage, emotional honesty, and a refusal to box herself in. In a world quick to categorize, Yaya stands still and lets people feel. And perhaps that's exactly what makes her a quiet icon for those exploring love in the most authentic and liberating ways. She reminds us that sometimes you don't have to shout your truth, you just have to live it. So what do you think? Does Yaya's quiet mystery speak to you? We'd love to hear what you think. Share your feelings, curiosities, and even questions in the comments below. Let's keep this space thoughtful, respectful, and open to love in all its forms. Rattanawadee Wongthong, nicknamed Mim, is probably the sweetest face Thailand's Gen Z has ever seen. With her delicate features, soft voice, and eyes that seem to have read 1,000 love stories, she's never been the loudest girl in the room. But somehow, the rumors surrounding her are true. Mim rose to fame for her breakout role in Death Whisperer, winning over audiences with a performance that felt hauntingly mature for someone born in 2004. But while fans were still praising her acting chops, others were whispering, not about her lines, but about her love life. And those whispers, they weren't going away anytime soon. It started like so many things in Thai celebrity culture, with matching accessories. Then there were the cozy Instagram selfies with her female co-stars, captioned with enough ambiguity to set fan forums ablaze. One particularly viral photo from a behind-the-scenes shoot in 2024 shows Mim leaning on a female friend's shoulder, both in pajamas, with the caption, "My favorite place in the world." Now, could it be friendship? Of course. But this is the internet, folks, and the internet is restless. Fans began piecing together moments from interviews, compiling evidence of peeks and inside jokes. One clip from a live stream in 2025 even caught Mim blushing and stuttering when asked about dating. Was she dodging the question or just nervous? No labels were given, no relationships were confirmed, but as usual, not denying it added fuel to the fire. Here's what we know for sure. Mim is talented, down-to-earth, and charmingly private. She has never spoken publicly, and she owes no one an explanation. And that's exactly why these stories matter. Not to speculate, but to celebrate the diversity of how love, friendship, and identity play out in real life. Whether Mim was simply being close to her friends or exploring something deeper, we may never know. But what we can do is create space. Space for questions, space for connection, and yes, even space for gossip, as long as it's wrapped in kindness. How did this story make you feel? Did it open your mind or touch your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments. Keep this space open, light, and welcoming to everyone, because love in all its forms is always worth talking about. Mint Ranchrawee looks like she stepped out of a romantic movie, with perfect hair and a bouquet of flowers in her hand. But to fans who follow her closely, Mint is more than just a Thai actress with a bright smile. She's a quiet storm, sweet on the outside, reserved on the inside, and somehow always the center of whispers that never go away. From her early days on Thai television to her starring in hit dramas, Mint quickly became a favorite of both TV directors and Instagram timelines. But somewhere along the way, the narrative began to change. People weren't just talking about her acting anymore. They were talking about her hobbies. And the internet? Well, you know, the internet never whispers, it speculates. What sparked curiosity wasn't some leaked video or dramatic press conference. It was simpler than that. Fans have noticed that Mint often posts cute, even flirty captions to her female friends. The cozy, intimate energy feels different. In 2022, Mint celebrated her birthday not with her boyfriend, but with a mysterious companion in the form of a cake, matching bracelets, and a caption that read, "You are my home." The post sent fans into a frenzy. Some saw it as a friendly moment. Others, they read between the lines. The comment section turned into a rainbow guessing game, supportive, curious, and very, very invested. Still, Mint remained silent. No denial, no confirmation. Just more beach trips, more soft smiles, and more mysterious captions like, "My heart knows." The truth is, Mint Ranchrawee has never labeled herself, and she probably doesn't need to. Her story, whether romantic or platonic, reminds us that love doesn't always come with a manual or a press release. In a world where public figures are often forced to define their every move, Mint's gentle privacy feels like a quiet rebellion. And maybe that's what makes her so appealing. She doesn't shout her truth, but she doesn't hide it either. So what do you think? Are these just beautiful friendships, or is there more to them? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We're here for every angle, as long as it's accompanied by kindness and curiosity, because we're not here to define. We're here to celebrate every version of love that dares to be expressed. If you follow Thai entertainment news, chances are you've heard of Benyapa Jeenprasom, or simply View. She's more than just another GMMTV actress. There's a quiet charisma to her. Like she's holding a secret that we're still trying to figure out. With a career spanning from the chaotic teen dramas of The Shipper to the intense, creepy scenes of Homeschool, View has mastered the art of playing characters who straddle the line between innocence and rebellion. And maybe that's why the rumors started. Not because she wanted them to, but because every time she appeared on screen, something about her seemed real. Maybe too real. Now let's talk about the rumors, because, let's be honest, there were a lot of them. And not the scandalous kind, more like the gentle, nagging questions. Questions have been popping up on fan forums and YouTube comments. Why does View connect so deeply with her co-stars? Why does she talk about love so easily, so uninhibitedly? One moment that fans are still talking about is a casual behind-the-scenes clip in which View, without prompting, puts her arm around another actress and says, "Love doesn't need to be explained. It just is." There's no caption, no rainbow filter. It's just there, and it resonates with people. Is it a statement, a line from a script, or is it one of those beautifully ambiguous moments that makes you wonder if art imitates life or vice versa? The point is, we're not here to draw lines, label, or demand answers. View has never spoken publicly about her identity, and that silence isn't a cop-out. It's her right. But in a world where young people are still afraid to hold hands in public, her gentleness, her openness, and the way she treats love with dignity, warmth, and non-judgment speak volumes. Maybe that's what makes her so powerful. She's a mirror for so many people still figuring themselves out. Maybe she's straight. Maybe she's not. Maybe it doesn't matter. What matters is that her presence says, you're allowed to be different and still be loved. Now let's turn to you, our beautiful, curious viewers. When you watch View, what do you see? Do you feel a little bit of quiet courage deep inside? Or maybe you've experienced something similar. Love doesn't need a label, it just needs courage. Share your thoughts below. Be honest, be kind, because that's how we grow. Not by defining others, but by listening and smiling a little along the way. Atitaya has never needed a script to grab attention. From the moment she stepped onto the Miss Grand Thailand 2022 stage, she radiated an unteachable fire. Audiences were drawn to her not just for her composure or her beauty, but for the way she seemed to feel things. She was the kind of woman who didn't just walk the walk. She made her presence known. But behind all the applause and charm, there was something more. Something unspoken. An intimacy. A tenderness that didn't fit the usual pageant-perfect narrative. She didn't flaunt anything. Yet the way she interacted with one particular woman, off-stage, in the quiet corners of the internet, started to make people raise their eyebrows and whisper. Not out of scandal, but out of curiosity. One doesn't have to say, "I love you" out loud to make the world feel it. Sometimes it's the way someone leans in when they smile, or the way hands linger too long in a casual selfie. Fans are starting to notice patterns. Late-night chat posts with soft lighting, shared travel photos, cryptic captions like, "You see me, that's enough," and subtle moments that feel intimate. There are no dramatic gestures, no grand coming out. But Mind isn't hiding anything, either. She's in no rush to clarify, edit, or control the narrative, and that's what makes it all the more compelling. In an age of oversharing, her quiet refusal to define or protect her personal life is almost radical. Intentionally or not, Mind has created something rare, a space where ambiguity doesn't mean avoidance, it means freedom. The truth is, we may never know the whole story, and maybe we're not supposed to know. What we do know is that Atitaya has become a quiet symbol of emotional honesty, even in silence. In a culture where so many public figures feel pressured to declare who they are, who they love, and what they stand for, Mind has chosen a different path. One where she is whole, complex, and undefined. And what is that decision? That's its own power. Because love, connection, and identity don't always arrive at a press conference. Sometimes they come in looks, in gestures, in the way a woman dares to live without regret, even if that means leaving questions unanswered. Mind's story isn't just about who she might love. It's about the courage to live on her own terms, with grace, mystery, and a little quiet rebellion. We created this space not to label anyone, but to celebrate the beautiful diversity of human love, emotion, and experience. If this story touched you, sparked a thought, or intrigued you, leave your comments below. Your voice. Let's keep the conversation thoughtful, kind, and most of all, open. This video is about the quiet courage to live authentically in a world that's still afraid of being different. Through every glance, every gesture, and every unanswered question, we're reminded that love, real, messy, beautiful love, can be as powerful in silence as it is in words. We support diverse love stories everywhere, and we're proud to create a space where questions don't demand answers, they invite understanding. Thank you for watching. If this video touched you, inspired you, or made you think differently, consider subscribing to our channel and seeing more stories like this. And even to our toughest critics, we want to hear from you. Your feedback helps us grow and do better with each new video.